I know you like the way I pop out. Let's go hit Lennox. Another week, another knockout. A different city.
So the Google Fitbit Air just recently launched, and this is what 24 hours actually feels like without this feeling like a full review. So I did my best to push the Fitbit Air as much as I possibly could and find out everything about it, and especially integrate it into my active lifestyle. And I was super curious to see how would it actually track my activity, considering that I use my activity trackers for a lot of things such as cycling, lifting, and a lot of walking as well, which I feel like were 3 really good ways to test the Fitbit Air and see exactly what it's all about. Now, I also want to mention I did actually have a lot of concerns with the Fitbit Air, considering the fact that it doesn't have a screen, there's no gestures on it, and it also doesn't have GPS tracking unless you have your phone with you. So those are a lot of limitations that I was really curious to know what that would feel like around when I do my activities. And keep in mind that everything has to be operated from your phone using the Google Health app, which is another very interesting thing that I was curious to know what that full experience was going to be like. Now, this isn't a full review, but I am tracking it alongside with the Apple Watch. So if you are interested in that video going further, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to make a video comparing the two and also seeing what it's like for Apple users that want to integrate the Fitbit Air into their ecosystem. So yeah. Okay, now the first order of business wasn't actually taking it out for a run or doing something active with it, because I am one of the pleb creators who didn't get this shipped to me ahead of time. I had to spend my own money to buy it, so this is a completely unsponsored, honest 24 hours with the Fitbit Air, which is fine, because what we are going to talk about first is actually the sleep experience and how it tracks your sleep and give your metrics as well. So because it has no screen, that means you need to do everything through the Google Health app. And this includes setting up the alarm and also when you plan on going to sleep, just to give the Fitbit Air an idea of when you will be sleeping so it knows when to track your sleep. Now, what's interesting is that with the Apple Watch, you have to put it into a sleep mode so the watch knows that you're going to sleep. But with the Fitbit Air, it's just supposed to do it automatically. And to my surprise, in the morning, it really did feel like it did a pretty good job of tracking my sleep on time. So I was very pleased to see that. Now, in terms of the sleep data, it felt pretty normal and basic compared to other fitness trackers that track your sleep. So all that considered, I feel like compared to the Apple Watch, and this is not a comparison, not fully yet, it was pretty accurate. So I didn't see any huge glaring inconsistencies, which is a good sign. Now for the good stuff. I finally got a chance to take it out to do an activity, and the first order of business that I decided to do was actually take it to a lifting session. So this was actually my squat day, and I really wanted to see what it would be like using Fitbit Air during my lifting sessions. And I was really excited to use it because of the fact that it's so slim, which is, the Air name, right? And this allows you a good chance to not only slide it up and down easily on your wrist, but use your straps or wraps if you have any. And it's super unobtrusive compared to a Apple Watch, which is also in a comparison, not fully yet. But that's not to say that I didn't have any concerns with the Fitbit Air, because with the Fitbit Air, because it has no screen and no other third-party apps that you could really use, it really is just a glorified heart rate tracker while you are doing your lifts. You can't, track your reps, you can't see your weights, and you can't see any meaningful data when it comes to lifting. Now, I use fitness trackers for lifting all the time, and so all that kind of data is super meaningful to me. And it's unfortunate that Google Fitbit Air doesn't really pick up how many reps I do or the weights I do or what I'm doing. All it's basically seeing is my heart rate during that entire session. So basically the workout activity is very similar to how Apple Watch does it. It basically tracks it as if you're doing a walking activity. So do with that what you will. It's not great for lifting. Now, after the gym, it was time to hit the road bike and get some actual real cardio sessions in, which I felt like is a really good way to test the Fitbit Air and what the heart rate tracking would look like. Because with the Fitbit Air, you can actually see exactly what heart rate zones you're training in, which is a really nice added feature into the Google Health app that I really liked. Now, because in road cycling, you go through so many hills and you go through many lulls and going downhill, it's a really good way to see exactly how your heart rate increases and decreases over time, which in my opinion, like I said, is a really good way to see what that Fitbit Air is going to be like on those long riding sessions. And most importantly, see how it collects the data. Now, for the most part, I felt like it did a pretty good job. And again, it looks pretty accurate considering is my first session with the Fitbit Air on a cycling session. What I was really pleased by was I thought that the Fitbit Air didn't have GPS, but if you have your phone with you, it can actually track your entire route during your cycling session. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that for cycling purposes, and if you're a real cyclist, it didn't do a really good job of tracking exactly how fast you're going or your average kilometers. I saw quite of a big discrepancy when I tracked my Garmin cycling workout compared to the Fitbit Air, so almost by 2 to 3 kilometers per hour, which is pretty insane. So keep that in mind. That's just something that I noticed when I was doing my cycling. And lastly, as a cool down, I finished it off with basically a walk, and I feel like the Fitbit Air is truly perfect for this purpose because when you're doing your walks, it's not really anything special and you don't need any special data. And I feel like the Fitbit Air is just super good for tracking A, the calories, B, your heart rate, and also your pace as well for walking, considering you're going pretty slow. And just as a quick comparison, I did feel like it was pretty comparable to the Apple Watch in terms of pacing. However, I did see quite of an increase in calories burned compared to the Apple Watch. So something to also think about as well. Okay, side note, I got a comment from someone asking if it has accidental steps rejection. And I just want to say that if I just wave my arm like this, you can quickly see the steps increase on the Google app. Now, that being said, if you have any vibrations or anything like that, I feel like it could also count those as steps. Anything with a violent motion would definitely count it as steps. But when it comes to something like cycling, I felt like I didn't see any additional steps added unless there was a really, really rough bump on the road. So yeah. Now, within the 24 hours that I spent with the Fitbit Air, there were a lot of things that I found super interesting about it. But just keep in mind, this isn't a final review. This is really just an experience. So these are my final thoughts, okay? So just from the 24 hours of using it, the band itself feels pretty cheap. I mean, it really isn't anything special. And one of the worst things I hate about the band is because it's made of like a cotton material, it absorbs sweat, which holds in bacteria. And I really hate that feeling of a wet cotton band around my wrist when I finish my activities. So that was something that I didn't love about the strap. Now, the battery life was actually pretty amazing considering the fact that I did 3 activities and 2 of them were quite long. From full to now, it was sitting only at 88%. So in the 24 hours of sleep tracking and 3 activities, it only lost 12%, which to me was incredible. Now, just a few notes on the Google Health app. It is completely free, and using the Fitbit Air is also completely free. You don't need a subscription to actually own it and use it. However, if you want premium access and you want more insightful sleep tracking data and you want to speak to a Gemini AI coach and get the most out of all your health metrics integrated into your daily life to see how you should navigate to increase your lifestyle and health, then that might be something you are interested in. Now, there is a way to get it for free, but I'm going to save that for the next video. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see that video on how to get premium access for free. But in the meantime, you do get the premium access for 3 months free if you get the Fitbit Air. And Google AI aside, the health app is actually pretty great. And after reviewing multiple health and fitness apps, I genuinely found the Google Health app to be very basic, but in a very good way that's easy for people to use. Because honestly, it gives the necessities of what you need to see for your health metrics. And it's great for the general population who just want general health data. So with that being said, there's lots of videos coming out. We are going to do a Fitbit Air versus the Apple Watch. We're going to see what the Fitbit Air is like for the Apple users. And we're also going to see a full review on the Google Fitbit Air. And we're going to compare the Apple Health app to the Google Health app to see what they're like. And also, we're going to spin off Bevel AI in there and see how that compares to Gemini AI. So if you're interested in all those videos, which are going to be coming out slowly, definitely subscribe. You won't want to miss them out. They're going to be high value, and If you like any of those kind of videos, you like this video, make sure you check out some of my other videos as well. They're going to be awesome to see, and hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I know you like the way I pop out. Let's go hit Lennox. Another week,